Good?
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Side Dish. Happy Saturday. Sorry being late. We had the internet go down about 20 minutes before we were going to start here. So this is a continuation of last week's video that we did where we made the bread. And so basically what we're doing this week is we're going to take that bread, we're going to tear it up into little pieces and make it into stuffing. So it's really simple. If you've ever made like boxed stuffing before, the ingredients are basically the same. The only thing we're doing differently is we're going to add the seasoning ourselves. So it's the same type of seasoning. It's got parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. I think I forgot the thyme, but that's okay. I got some. I got it out. So now we'll chop it on here for you. Okay. So these. Those are classic Thanksgiving flavors, as you probably will see in a lot of Thanksgiving recipes. They're going to be there. So as we move forward with this, it's going to be a swap out. So don't be surprised. We're pretty fancy about that. So let me put that thing in there. It's about 40 minutes overall, and you're going to want to make sure that you give yourself some time to get this prepared. It comes together fast, but like the bread, the recipe calls to take the bread out about an hour before. And once you have it torn up. So we'll just get to that because that's what we want to do first. So we want these slices. Can you hit the button? Because I don't have the light on me. The blue button.
Sorry. But we did talk about the bread earlier. And we had the bread outside with the braise on it, and it got very dry very quick.
Yeah, I am gonna throw it in. There we go.
You can throw it in the oven, yeah.
That's what you're gonna do. You need to throw it because they want it to be completely dry. I'm not doing that. It's stupid.
But it will suck up more yummy.
I mean, I think there's a theory to that, and I don't think it's true. Bread.
You don't believe in the dry bread theory?
No, I don't. I think the bread is going to be just as much as that. So I'm just going to be, that's it. 1.5 inch like crumbs. Could you cut this up with a knife? Sure you could, but why?
I'm going to focus on your tearing up theory here.
So you just
Not your face.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Okay, so I've got this going, and again, I'm looking at just chunks. I'm not measuring. You want half a pound. Actually, I would say
a pound, right?
Well, I'm making half of a batch. I've already made the other half because I don't need 2 pounds or 2 huge things of stuffing. We're not going to eat that. So this is a half batch. Double everything. That's all, and take it off. So this is a half pound of the white loaf that we made last week. I hope you made it because it's super easy. And
so delicious for toast and everything else.
Yeah. So again, knowing what I know, that this is what I'm going to put it. This whole thing is more than 8 ounces So I'm going to eyeball it based on what I know the other one was. And then
16.
No, I'm only doing half a batch.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, my mistake.
So I should, or you could just have your handy dandy scale ready. This is again gonna be real rough here. So nope, we gotta zero it out. That's only 5 ounces. So we're not gonna use all of this. I'm gonna try and make this so that when I cut it up later, it'll look.
You would not. You don't cut it. You actually rip everything.
Yeah, you have more jagged edges to soak up.
Soak up the yummy.
So.
Okay. We're going for a pound?
No, half a pound.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry. Half a pound. Because
we're doing two. I'm doing a swap out, which if I do the whole recipe, it's a pound, but this is half a thing. So as I'm showing you this, remember to double everything. Or make half a batch. You're going to see that for a weeknight, it's fine. So
seems complicated.
The name of the recipe is simple. Best dressing, so it's not complicated.
So I am not correct.
All right, that's about That is 8 ounces. It's not a ton, but you can see, like, this is what we're looking for. Jaggedy edges.
What a great bowl you have there.
It is very nice, isn't it? So I'm going to I need, what do I need here? Fresh thyme, I need half a tablespoon of fresh thyme. It's not a lot, but I grabbed all that I had in the refrigerator. So you
brought so many herbs in from the garden, but these were not some of them?
Yes, these are from the garden.
Oh, they are?
Yeah. So
how many stems?
I'm not looking at stems. I'm looking at, I need a tablespoon, so I'm just kind of eyeballing it until I think I've got half a tablespoon. So. All right. That's probably half right now, and then the rest, if we need more.
I'm going to tip the camera down.
Okay. And again, excuse me, I'm just doing a rough chop here. I'm probably going to need more than that, but luckily I have it. Because again, this is going to go into, when we mix up, we're going to fry up the onions and celery, which are the only real veg that's going in here. If you want to do other stuff, I don't necessarily think you need it. Other recipes will call for like a classic mirepoix, which is onions, carrots, and celery. But you don't need that. The carrots don't add anything to here. I do like changing it up. There's different types of things like we discovered last night. There's sofrito, which is different types that you can do it. A Cajun mirepoix, which is green onion or green pepper instead of the carrots, or the celery. I can't remember which one. You substituted one. I don't know. It's something like that. So that looks to be about half a tablespoon. But the fresh herbs are going to really bring a brightness to the whole thing, right? So that's what we're hoping for. I forgot to ask how everybody's doing. I'm frazzled because of the internet. So this is, I'm going to take a half sheet pan, which is this thing. The full one is for restaurants. And all I'm going to do is just, excuse me, God, I got a little frog in my throat. And spread it out here. And I'm only going to put it in for like, I don't know, a few minutes, like maybe 5 minutes, because I just want it to get sort of dried out and be good. All right.
So you're drying out your breadcrumbs?
I'm only doing a slight dry out. I mean, not very much. I just am getting like crispy edges.
I cut up some of those and moved them outside to eat with spinach dip. And with the breeze, they
like the cut edge.
Quickly. Yeah.
That's why you don't want to leave. Like if you had this,
so they go pretty quick.
They can if you leave it open. Put it in a bag though; it'll be fine because the moisture retains.
I feel like homemade bread dries out way quicker than
because there's no preservatives in there.
Yeah.
And that's why. This is all good for you. All right, so the next thing we want to do is we're going to take. What is that? 3/4 of a cup. What's half of 3/4 of a cup of?
Half of 3/4 of a cup.
Yeah. So that's a quarter. Half a cup is a quarter, so an eighth.
6/8.
Yeah. So it's basically you're gonna take a whole stick of butter here. No. You're gonna take a quarter cup, half of a stick of butter. This is a chaos. I'm telling you. And unsalted butter. That's that we got. I'm gonna throw that in there. Unsalted.
Why unsalted?
Because I do not want to have too much salt.
You know that I love salty butter.
You put it onto the bread. That is where, when you're making toast, that's where it's best. And then that's a half. I'm gonna go. That's like an eighth, maybe. There we go. So half of a stick. So, all right. Also get. This is about a right size container for a half a batch that we're making. Cute. It is. It's nice. It's what is this? Innova. It's a cast iron with enamel.
Adorable.
Yeah. I've taken the soft butter already and I've buttered the
Show
inside.
us.
You can't
Show us.
you can't see it.
Yeah, we can.
So
You can see the.
okay.
Wait.
Whoa. Nope.
Tip it. Yeah.
Okay. So you can see the butter in here. And we want to do that first because once we get this all mixed together, it's going to go pretty fast. And what we mix everything together and go in there and then go into the oven. So I'm waiting. I'm just right now. All I'm really doing is waiting for this butter to sort of start to melt. Don't do it on high because it'll burn. And burnt butter is no bueno. So also make sure you get some. You need some chicken stock, an egg, like I said, parsley, rosemary, and thyme.
There's a song about that.
Parsley, sage, and thyme. No, parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. I was right. Don't listen to me. I can't read.
There's a song about that.
There is. Salt, pepper, and then an egg, which I've got the last of the eggs that I used before. They're nice and brown.
The blue eggs have a double yolk. Do you have a bleed?
No, I don't know. I think those were the big ones. So I'm all down. I think there's one
But
small
there
one.
might be. We never know.
There could be, but I want just a single
They're
yolk
like
this time.
farm fresh, right?
Yes. I mean,
All things good with eggs.
they came from the store, but I think they're as farm fresh as they can be.
But they're free range.
I think so. I don't remember.
What?
I don't know.
I think you build them as like really great eggs before.
Well, they are, but I don't know what brand they are. I can't think of what brand they are off the top of my head. All right, so I've already cut up this.
Free range.
This is half of a large onion, which is about
That's a lot.
yes, it's 1 1/4 cups
It's a
of
big
onion, and I've got it. I don't care about the dice. It's a decent sized dice, and the same thing. This is
Like a 1/2-inch dice.
sure. I don't know. Just
Why don't you care? Because it won't matter.
It doesn't
It's
matter.
all going to go in.
Yeah, it's all mixed together. If it was the star and I wanted it to be finer, if we were making like tartar sauce or something like that, then that's that. So, and then I've got the same sort of rough chop on a
Or less.
celery stick. So you're going to want, 1 1/2, 3/4 of a cup of celery. And so I'm just going to put these in here and turn up the heat a little bit.
With your butter?
With the butter, yeah. And it's just that way, because the butter is going to help, it's going to be part of the flavoring when we put the bread back in the bowl. And so this just is a vessel for everything to come together. I am going to salt and pepper this because, you should be salting it, at least at this step. Where's my salt? There it is. Yeah.
Whoa, that looked like a lot of salt.
It sure did, but it was really not. Probably maybe a tablespoon. And then we're just going to let it come together here. Oops. Got a little too excited with the stir.
How done are you looking for those?
These are going to brown. You want these to actually get to a brown. So I'm just going to leave these and check on them, but they're going to start to sizzle here shortly. And once they are, they're going to turn translucent and they're going to start to brown up on the edges. And a higher heat will help you get there. You can go 5 to 10 minutes. Just watch the color on them, because as the color comes together, then you're going to move that. And at the same time, I'm probably going to check on the breadcrumbs. So let's check on that really quickly. Oh, yeah. So that's fine. That's exactly what I want. They're warm, but not like hot. And then, ooh, it smells good though. And then back into the bowl. Be careful, the sheet pan is going to be hot. And then, and you can just, since the oven's on 350 to preheat everything before we get going. So that's what you'll just use that. And then I just let these sit in here. It's going to cool while that's kind of doing its thing. All right, let's take a step and think about some stuff here. Are you guys getting ready? What's your plans for Thanksgiving this year? I know it's with COVID and everything. It's like plans for travel and stuff like that are kind of out the window. Are you still doing people coming to your house? Are you gonna just be small for your own, family that's either in town or local, or just in your house, or what?
I think most people are just doing in their house.
Yeah,
That's what I see.
Yeah, and that kind of makes sense, right? You can't travel anywhere, and even if you do, like if you travel out of,
A lot of places, if you travel, then you have to quarantine for so many days.
Well, I was just gonna say, and I think there's a length requirement too. Like if you're gone for more than, I don't know, 2-3 days, then you have
a lot of jobs or
that you have to. I know we had some.
Most people are just staying home.
Probably it's the same thing with with Halloween, right? You can't have really, and trick or treating will be weird.
We normally have a big Halloween thing at our house.
Yeah, but we're not doing that this year, unfortunately.
We normally have all of our friends with their children, and Doug and I host, and we feed everybody chili.
Yeah.
And the people that have kids go out and trick or treat, and then they come back and they have chili dinner and wine and beer and
it's a good time for sure.
That's not happening this year.
Yeah. Okay. So what I'm doing now is I'm just gonna, since this is out and we want to get this all going at the same time here. This is the parsley, rosemary, sage, and thyme. Parsley, rosemary, sage, and then thyme.
Oh, I'm not putting
Thyme
it. Do it again.
Parsley, rosemary, sage, thyme. And again, they're all pretty rough chopped in terms of, like the rosemary has bigger pieces. And I'm just gonna, it's not ceremoniously. I'm just gonna add it in here because it's all gonna get mixed together with the spatula that we're stirring the onions with anyway. So
can I go like this? Okay.
I didn't see what you were doing.
At your face.
Yeah. So I'm just adding those in there. And the nice part is when you add the butter, the oil and the butter is going to activate the flavors of all of the herbs. And it's really, really, really going to be like,
I like that.
fragrant.
I like the hand tossing.
Yeah. I don't want to do it when I get the hot, like oil.
No, now you can.
Yeah. Also, let's go ahead and we need to add this egg to a bowl. Such a nice
Are we
milk.
going to get salmonella, Doug?
No,
because you're gonna bake it.
we're gonna bake it in the oven. So I need to.
Denise says from on high, we're going to bake that egg.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Look at that beautiful broth.
Yes.
Where'd that come from?
I made it. What do I need here?
No store-bought shit.
2.5 cups divided. Nope, that's for the whole thing. 1.25 divided. So that's a little bit over a half of a cup.
I feel like this kind of recipe you can mess with the
You can.
measurements,
If
halves,
I
or
was
doubles or whatever, but when you're baking,
no. If I was doing the whole recipe, like which I would do for Thanksgiving, and I wasn't doing a swap out because I don't want, what is it? Probably
4 pounds of stuffing.
4 pounds of stuffing. That seems excessive even for me. And so I'm just doing a half batch, and then with the other half batch, we'll have the whole thing, and then we can eat it tomorrow, and it'll be good. So I'm just whisking the egg with that broth that I put in there, and it's just to combine it so it's, the egg is broken up.
It's cold though.
It's cold?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not warming it up. And that's why you want to let this cool. Now, with those, whoops.
Like, we don't have to worry about scrambled eggs anywhere.
We shouldn't have to, because even this, there's not that'd be like if we had hot milk or something like that, like for ice cream, we'd want to temper it more. This is because of that, and it's also distributed, the fat and the white is distributed within the broth. We shouldn't have to worry about it too much. So this is where we're at right now, right? So it's starting to get translucent. I can't tip anymore.
Oh, yeah.
So if you you can see it's sort of like getting there. And again, I'm just going to keep it on there. We're almost there. We're probably about a minute out. Next week we'll do probably have another pre-recorded, but I think we're gonna do. I had a user send in their recipe. Scott Shearing, if you're out there, Polar, I got your recipe ready to go for next week, and we will make the recipe, and then I'll film and do all that fun stuff. I hope you liked the last little surprise of the last episode, like the morning after bed. If you didn't see it, you should watch it because I thought it was funny, and it's a throwback. I mean, if I think it's funny, that's all that matters to me. If you like it, that's just a bonus. So, and then that'll be the last of really the major stuff. We'll probably do one or two into November, and with sweet potatoes, and I'm thinking ambrosia, just because that'll be if you've ever made ambrosia. Yeah, I know.
Salad of the gods.
That's what they say. We never made it at my house, but Amy's family made it a lot, and so we haven't really made it.
It's delish.
It is. I mean, it's definitely not great for you. I mean, it's
the cold against the hot.
Well, no. I mean, just in terms of like the ingredients, we're talking.
Whatever.
It has fruit, but it's like.
It's
fruit
good for
content.
you in comparison to stuffing.
It has a whole thing of Cool Whip in it.
Whatever. Just mind your business.
It's my business to make it. So I could comment all I want. How about that? Anyways, I noticed no garlic in this recipe. You don't need it. This is the onions and the celery really are the star, and the bread. So that's why you really want the really good bread. Now for years we just out of the box and it's still good. You could just add in all of like store-bought bread. And then if you wanted to jazz it up this way using the same thing.
Or you could just use Mrs. Cummins.
You could, but I mean, if you got the opportunity, you should do it at least once. That's the goal here.
It is better.
What is better?
Yours.
Oh.
Fresh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think like the bread, if you got the bread and you didn't have time to make the bread beforehand, you could just get it from the bakery, get a russet.
Dry it out and then you add all this onion to it. It's going to be delicious.
Yeah. So I'm going to give that a little bit more. And then I'm just, when you've got it in the oven,
Hold up.
do give it a quick, once over and take a look at how it's looking. That's looking pretty good. And you're cooking it for 40 minutes, but I would, at the end of it, go ahead and take the top off of it and let it get about 15 minutes before you're ready to be done. Take the top off and let it to get brown. So as we're finishing up here, we're going to I probably should do that now.
What's happening?
What do you mean?
Are you going to the stove again?
Yes. Let it crisp up on the top.
Isn't that a cute little?
The cool thing about this is, so if you've ever made bread pudding, this is, essentially a savory bread pudding with everything in it. So it's.
Add some more eggs and make it a bread pudding.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how you make bread pudding.
With this having an egg in it overall, it's sort of.
Add some eggs and some cream or milk or something.
Yeah.
Savory bread pudding.
So it's really good.
Delish.
It also take the time if you've got fresh herbs, you definitely want that.
Did you grow all of this?
I sure did. So if you can grow the herbs, you can grow them on a windowsill if you've got a nice window, if sliding glass door or something nearby. I grew them in a barrel outside, and then I bring the barrels in the garage currently to overwinter. But okay.
Just bring it in.
Yeah, like 3 days ago. Oh, the herbs?
You bring them in earlier?
The
brought?
I don't know. The barrel or the herbs?
I don't know. Either.
The barrel I brought in because it was going to freeze here and sparks. The herbs I cut today out of the barrel in the garage. Okay, so here's what we got. So they got
it's
nice and brown. can you see that?
Yep.
The camera's sort
You're
of
right
away.
there.
Okay. And that's what you're looking for. So I'm going
A
to,
little brownie crispy, a little bit.
yeah.
Let me see again.
So you can
Oh,
see,
yeah.
you can see it's browned up, and then the butter also.
Wait, I went the wrong way. I'm good.
Okay. And again, I'm just adding this in here, and I'm going to actually stir this up. And the reason, well, you need to stir it up.
Okay, what's in the bowl already?
Bread and herbs. And then the butter is going to start to get soaked up.
What's in this dish? The yellowy dish.
What, this dish?
No.
That's
No. Yep.
that's the broth and the egg scrambled up. So I'm tossing this a little bit so that the veg is distributed, and the bread is starting to get coated with that butter as well, and then the herbs are also, they're gonna activate, and they're not gonna get like they're not gonna cook. If you were to put these in the frying pan while they're cooking, they're gonna overcook.
Like scramble the eggs?
No.
It would though, if you did that.
If you put that into there,
Yeah, we
Yeah.
scramble the eggs.
yes, with any heat like that, you are. So that's why. But I'm like the herbs, you wouldn't want to put in there either.
Right.
So because what was that, 7 to 8 minutes we had them cooking in there, and so it would just not char them, but crisp them up, and you don't want that. All right, so I'm just gonna add this mixture. Let me give it another little whisk here to get everything.
I love that little whisk. That little French whisk with its extra thingers.
Yes, it's very handy for this thing. I like it a lot. I just did that because the yolk is going to be heavier than the liquid, and it's going to sink to the bottom. And so I wanted it more distributed. And all I'm doing is I'm just tossing it together. That's it. And then you're going to see, okay, so Autumn, I don't know if you can see that on the bottom.
You went too high.
So
Go lower.
I'm not trying to look inside. I'm trying to look at
I know.
there.
Go lower. Okay, yeah. We're good.
Okay. And that's all that liquid needs to be tossed around so it gets absorbed by the bread. And then that's going to help as a binder as well. It smells.
Yeah, zoom in on it.
Okay. It smells exactly like Thanksgiving in here right now.
Yeah, I can smell all the herbs.
Yeah. So
All the herbs.
the herbs.
It smells like bread and a lot of deliciousness.
You could if you were feeling it.
This looks so little though, because it's half.
This is a half batch,
I
right?
know you can tell me it's half, but it looks so little.
It does.
It doesn't look like enough.
Well,
I think that's like enough for 2 people if they are stuffing lovers.
I mean, last year I made 2
That's
things of
silly.
stuffing where I made Mrs. Cubbins and this. So we had.
I know we kind of had a taste off.
We did. Again, I'm continuing to stir this up
So good.
so
I
that
want to zoom in more. Hold up. I'm gonna zoom in on that more.
you can see that the bread has taken on quite all of the moisture,
All the moisture, yeah,
and it's
yeah.
real good. So it's again, but these edges, or the crust areas, they're still going to be really crisp. So, well, not really crisp, but they're going to be crisp. And so that's what you're kind of looking at is that, and that's it. So I'm going to let this sit for a few minutes, just let the rest of the liquid sort
Are
of.
you preheating the vessel that it goes into?
No.
But if you did, would it make the edges more crisp?
Maybe, but I don't know if you want to do that because it could burn them too. Because if they're too hot and the heat is coming in from the edges as well, so it could. It's not a bad idea. I've done that with other things where you want to have the edges real crisp, but I've never done it with this, so I haven't really
When
thought
you
about
bake
it.
bread, you just showed us that the whole vessel is super hot.
Because I want the crust on the bottom. and it also acts as the oven. It's making a smaller chamber inside the oven. You could probably leave it as it is and get the same rise, but I've had not been successful, and the tip was to just have that whole thing in there and the rise, because then the steam is trapped more, and that's what is it's released, and the dough has steam in it and it releases. What I was going to say too is you could, if you wanted to get saucy, you could add these herbs into the bread as you're making it, and so you could have herbed bread and use that herb bread really well as well. And you wouldn't maybe need to use as much. I would probably use half as much herbs if you've got it already baked into the bread, because it's going to be really fragrant as it is. All right, so we've pre-lubed this up. We want to make sure that we have it so that when it comes out, you're also going to, butter is flavor, and it's going to be flavorful. And
Salted or unsalted?
It's unsalted. When you're cooking, always unsalted. If you're using it on top, salted. So you could, you'll notice, like, I think the bread recipe, the bread that we made last week, each loaf was like almost 1.5 pounds, but it only calls for 1 pound of the bread. So, it's a little bonus.
The rest of toast.
Eat the rest of this toast. Or you could also break the rest of it up, put it in the oven, and dry it completely, and nice have really good croutons. So I don't have. Oh, I'm just going to use this.
It's right there.
No,
I thought you meant the lid.
Yeah, I just want to spread this out evenly.
I'm going to zoom on that and not your face.
Yeah. Again, the nice part about the rustic of the bread is it's not going to be completely flat, which is not what we want. It's like these jaggedy pieces poking up are going to get crispy, and it's really going to be good. So put the lid on, 350 oven.
Wait, hold up.
And we want to go, again, make sure your oven is preheated. So start it about, while you're starting this process, start the oven at 350. And then that way you have everything, that the oven's where you want it to be. If you start it and it just gets to 350, that's the sensor inside your oven. It might not necessarily the whole oven be at 350. So when you open the door, the hot air rushes out, and now the temperature's dropped. And so this is going to be helpful. So I'm just going to check the one we have in the oven. So I would leave it a little bit longer, but I'm going to pull it out so we can just take a look at what it looks like and what you're kind of looking for as we get finished with this. Hot pad. So it's probably got another 5 minutes since we started late, and it's 7:40 now, and I put it in at about 7:05-ish, 7:07. But it's poofed up a little bit too because the egg and everything in there. So you get a little bit of volume, and it gets some nice poofiness. It gets some airiness to it. Oh, it's so good.
Smells good.
Oh man, does it smell good. Again, just check the sides, make sure everything's pulling away. The thing is that you could eat this, right? It's cooked. Everything in there is already cooked. You could eat it now. I think the top, to get a good textural difference, if you touch this, you're not getting the crispy sound that you would normally get on the top. So
I don't want my stuffing crispy. So I would be happy with that.
Yeah, but if you wanted to go crispier, like, again, all of this has been cooked. The egg is done because it's, that egg is not going to kill you. It got up to 350.
Put it back in, though.
We can leave it out. If you think that's going to be good for you, then we'll leave that out.
I don't want crispy.
All right, so center rack right in the middle of the oven.
Oh, see our light? Hold up. Okay, that's better.
Lid on, and then again, set your kitchen timer for 20 minutes. of the 40. And then at that point, check what you like. And then at the end of it,
Can we try what's in front of you?
yeah, I just want to get through this little part and then check it. If you think the lid needs to stay on because it needs to cook some more, that's good. If not, take it off and let the top crisp up a little bit to your liking. But you want to go 40 minutes. If you think like, oh, it looks good, but I only want 10 minutes of it crisping up, that's fine. So let's look at this. I'm gonna pull this out with a little onion. See?
Oh my God, that looks so good.
It does.
So herby and
Yeah.
delicious. And like some is dark and some.
I'm gonna
is-
give it to you in this little bowl so it
Yeah.
doesn't spill everywhere. There you go.
Take it.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm gonna get myself a best bite here.
That smells like Thanksgiving.
Oh, good. Oh man. Oh.
That looks hot.
Mmm. It is so good though. Holy moly.
Okay, remind everybody to subscribe and all that.
Yeah. So I mean, this is actually not terrible of a time to cook. So if you are getting ready for your Thanksgiving and you want to like cut all your veg the night before, I try and do that just to save myself a little bit of time. So if I know I need, a bunch of onions and I know I need a bunch of celery and I know I need a bunch of, all the different vegetables, I'll chop all that up, put it in like either a bowl and then just measure out of that bowl as I'm cooking the next day. But once you get it going, we're lucky because we have this double oven set up. And so you can have a lot of stuff going on. But if you need to, Thanksgiving is about timing. So it's like, if this is going to be done in 40 minutes, you probably should already have your turkey out and letting it rest on the counter so that stuff goes in, it bakes. But these can be sitting ready to go and then be up and everything sort of ready to eat at the same time. And that's the mission of Thanksgiving, so that you're not like, well, the turkey's done, but the sides aren't done or this and that. We're on episode 22, which is insane. So we will be coming up on 25 really fast. So we'll do something super special for that. And then 26 is half a year. 6 months. That's crazy.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, just remember that we really appreciate you guys coming each week. If you could tell everybody you know about us and get them to subscribe, and it's quirky. We're a mom and pop shop here, basically, of not knowing what we're doing and figuring it out as we go. Again, at Side Dish Cooking on all of the socials, if you could follow us on there. If you have any recipes you'd like us to do, you could email us at sidedish I think it's sidedish@gmail.com. I'll have to double check that. I think it is. And if not, just send the recipe to one of our socials and we'll take care of it. Again, I want you to thank you for coming back every week, for those who keep coming back every week. And remember that be kind, be loyal, and then go out and do something nice for somebody this week. And as we move towards the holiday, maybe think about doing volunteer work or doing something nice for people just in general as as people are in need around this time. So thanks again for coming, and we'll see you here next week. Still here.
Sorry, aim is slow. That's right. I was trying to.